Good afternoon to you. We'll have more, of course, on the President's big speech today in just a moment, but we start this afternoon with the Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, EFF leader Julius Malema, and other prominent personalities paying a visit to the home of the family of Kieran Forbes, a.k.a. in Johannesburg. Our reporter Linda Mnisi is there for you. Linda, good afternoon to you. What's happened there?
Well, over the past hour, Stephen, what we've been able to see outside the home of slain rapper a.k.a. has been a number of prominent politicians visiting his home to pay their last respect, as he's rightfully mentioned. The EFF leader Julius Malema alongside Newzroom are coming to his home to pay their last respect. You would have heard just from that expo, the Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi arriving also here at the home of Kieran Forbes. And his arrival, Stephen, comes just as the discussion around the provincial funeral is being had in the country, right? But when we spoke to them, what we wanted to know was whether or not the president had officially declared it, because you'll remember during the week, the family had announced that he would be having a provincial funeral, a private ceremony that will be held at an undisclosed location so far. So the premier coming out of the family home saying that they have been unsuccessful in trying to persuade the president to declare that official funeral, but also stressing, Stephen, that it's not just about money. Let's take a listen.
We felt as a province will continue to give the support that we want, which simply means is the availability of what we call hero's ache, where he will be buried in a secluded venue with leaders and heroes and heroines of our society. But will also provide security support to the family, and also ensure that the family feel our support and our comfort. We felt that a person of his international stature, a person of his national stature, there must be some form of honor. And we want to clarify it's not a financial contribution, but it's an honor of draping the coffin, of ensuring that the flag either fly at half-mast, and of ensuring that his funeral becomes a befitting funeral. But even though we didn't succeed on that front, we will continue in making a hero's ache available, and we will ensure that our law enforcement agencies are deployed to both the funeral and the memorial service, and the family can feel that indeed we are supporting them.
All right, Stephen, so that was the Premier of Gauteng, Panyaza Lesufi, talking about why they did not succeed, but still seeing the need to support the family. I asked him if that would require government to release any money, because he speaks about security and a number of things that would be provided to the family, and he says that will not be done, or that will be done at no extra cost to the government. So quite clear that he'll also be in attendance of the funeral, because you'll remember some of the benefits that come with the state funeral, state-assisted funeral, would be particularly at a provincial level, would be a government official from the provincial level. So he says outside of the president declaring this state-assisted funeral, this provincial funeral, he will be present here. But we've also been able, Stephen, to see some interesting figures as well. Some actors who've also come here also managed to spot Sambudla here at the home of the late slain rapper. So it's been a relatively quiet day, except for those visits.
Linda, obviously we're going to see huge debates around whether or not there should be a provincial funeral, but certainly it seems the Gauteng Premier a little disappointed about how it's all panning out, still promising support for the family.
Well, indeed, Stephen, and we asked him about the reasons that were given by the president, because you'll remember it's only the president that can declare a provincial funeral or any state-assisted funeral, and he says, well, those were not given, he's not at liberty to discuss or disclose, those reasons, but of course, that does not mean that they cannot continue with supporting the family, and that is what exactly that is what they are going to do at this moment. So it seems means not all is lost. They say they're continuing with communicating with the family in terms of the preparations, how far the memorial service is going, the funeral is concerned. You'll remember also that the memorial service will be taking place tomorrow, and the Premier says that they'll be deploying some security as well as other resources to that particular memorial service, which will also be, be deployed to the funeral. So at this point, he says, despite the President not declaring this provincial funeral, they will continue with the support, even going to the funeral. The family will not at this point release the details of where that funeral will be held. All we know at this point is that they'll be hosting that funeral on Friday, on Saturday rather, and of course members of the public cannot attend. But you'll also remember or note that statement that they released earlier on about Keenan's album, which was set to drop on the 24th of this month. The family releasing a statement today saying that they'll be going ahead with that because it is something that he would have wanted.
Linda Mnisi, thank you very much indeed. Do appreciate the update.